Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Once again, thank you to all the supporters and all the subscribers, and we hope that our channel will grow and be one of the biggest channels out there, and that the message that we convey will be shared with everyone that needs to receive this message. Today I'm going to speak about the Tribal Senate, but I'm going to have a pre-run to this just to clarify a few things. Now, it's important that you watch the other 6 videos so that you can understand the build-up to where we are going to now. The first element I want to touch on is symbiosis, and I've spoken about that in the previous program. Now, symbiosis, it is when 2 or more group of people come together and they coexist. And there's a lot of good or advantage points to it, but there's also a few bad points to it, and I just want to focus and just touch on a few of them. One of them is that people tend to lose their cultural roots, and I have picked up where we stay here in Johannesburg that some of the local people cannot even speak their original tribal language, and the only language they can speak is English. And this is sad, and we hope that in future that the tribal values and especially the languages will not fade away. And this is a real threat. If you look at the United States of America, all of those folks that went over to the States via the slave ships, they have lost their African roots. Although they call themselves African Americans, they have little to know of the origin of originals of Africa if they can't speak an African language. And that is truly a sad situation. So can they still be called African Americans or just Americans? And this is the type of problems we can run into the future, especially with the setup that's in South Africa with these last big areas like Soweto and Katlong, etc., where people lose their identity and the connectivity to the various tribes, and they literally become that's the best, some people call it a Sasa generation, but a cosmopolitan group of people. And this is something that needs to be addressed. It is something that needs to be treasured. That is the various cultures and languages of the various tribes in South Africa. Even my tribe, on the 16th, we as Afrikaners have the Day of the Vow, but most of them don't recognize it. For them it's a day of braaiing and drinking and partying, and I'm sure that there's many other vacations or special days in the various tribes that is not upheld anymore. And this is a serious threat to the cultural aspect of the people of South Africa. If you look at the Khoisan, their language is nearly dead, and I think it's only 1 or 2 people that's still left, and the library, luckily, of the language. This is valuable. This is history. This is what we are made of, and we need to cherish it. Right, so I'm going to move on, and I'm going to speak about the current Democratic Party or multi-party system we have. And in principle, it sounds very good when the minority also protects the views of the minority, or the majority protects the views of the minority. Then it's a good system to have. But as soon as that shifts, where the majority does not protect the views of the minority, then this becomes a serious problem. And currently in our setup in South Africa is the balance has shifted, and to be straightforward is the government has too much powers. Although in our constitution the various tribal houses and tribal areas is recognized, there is little to no authority given to them. And this is, for our South Africa, this is problematic. Right. So what is the result of a bad democratic system where the majority tramples on the views of the minority for the interest of the common good of the majority? And eventually it runs down to socialism, communism, and it will end up in a dictatorship. The big thing about South Africa and our politics is current is there is more than 400 registered political parties. So it is division all over the show. So the coming elections, it's all going to be fun and games. And after that, it's going to be worse, because now we're going to have various parties aligning, and it is becoming a real circus. So at the end of the day, once again, the people of South Africa is the people that are suffering, because no to little service delivery will eventually come from this, as this is a power-hungry grab for seats, for the green seats in Parliament. And this is what Operation Respect is all about, is to shift away from this. Right, so I'm just going to give you another 3 views on this. And where does South Africa stand at this stage? I'm going to give you a description, and you can use this as a template of how South Africa fits, or how our political system fits. The first thing is, a federal government is a central government of a nation. In a federal system, the nation is divided up into numbers of regional governments, such as state or provincial governments, that are subordinate to the central system. This is more or less what we've got. Although we've got the various tribal grounds and areas, they do not have little to no authorities, but local government and provincial government is the people that's in charge, in total control. And if we just look at the happenings of the COVID-19 pandemic we had in South Africa, where all these powers were centralized just to 6 people. This is serious concerns, and this is what we hope to change. Second part is a confederation. And to understand what a confederation is an organization which consists of a number of parties or groups united in an alliance or league. A more or less permanent union of state with some or most political powers vested in total central authority. So that is a confederation. For example, the action of confederation of the state is being confederated. Right, but where we want to focus to, or what our main aim is a federation, not confederation, federation. Now, what is a federation? Is a group of states with a central government but independence in internal affairs. I'm going to read that again. A group of states with a central government but independence in internal affairs. So this is the views of Operation Respect. So let's work from the point that we've made it through the elections. Last week, or the previous program, I spoke about the referendum and how that fits in. And the referendum is very important, as this will be a guidance or a guidebook that will be given to the tribal senate. So what does this tribal senate? Right. So we have noted 13 tribes in South Africa. Now, I'm not going to name them all, but all of them are there. 13 tribes. Some will be added and some will be deducted, depending on the tribal senate at the end of the day. So what is the aim? Is we want every house, every tribal house, to give us 3 representatives. Now, this is not cast in stone. This is just a rough sketch or an idea. So I'm trying to sell sand here to the Arabs. Right. So every house will give us 3 representatives. So there's 13 different tribes times 3. It will give you 39 people Now these 39 people need to come and sit around the table. What is unique about this is, for the first time in South Africa's history, is every race will be represented on an equal foot. No form of discrimination will be tolerated. We all sit around the table as equals. The first step we have to do is we have to bring all the evidence, whatever we've got, maps, historical documents, we need to bring to the table. And this was done, or a large part of this work was done in 1994. And there was a regulation, Article 235 was issued, and where various grounds were assigned to various tribes. Now that can be revisited and it can be realigned, and this is what we want to bring the people, is come around, sit around the table in peace, bring what we've got, and the proverbial sandpit is the borders of South Africa. And we say, right, this tribe, this area of responsibility. So at the end of the day, we want to sit right around the table and everybody must be happy with allocation of ground and the area, the tribal grounds. So that is step one. And then it will be set down. So that tribal area will now become the responsibility of the tribal house. And we will speak about that a little bit more. Once that is settled, and we've got the draft document from the referendum, we will go over to the next step. So this is our business plan. We say, right, so the tribal senate will be set in place in the parliamentary house. Now, this is open. The king himself or the president of that specific tribe can be present, or he can send 3 dignitaries to act on his behalf. It is absolutely their choice. But let's, for argument's sake, say, right, the various tribal kings send out 3 representatives. So now we've got the first 39 people in our parliament. Now, these 39 people must now appoint a government to run all the state and state enterprises. And this is the difference. This is like coming for a job interview. People are not elected by looks or favoritism. So if you want to be the president or prime minister of this country, you have to come and apply, just like a business. Come with your CV. Come stand in front. Obviously a shortlist program, everything will be done, and come and explain to the tribal senate. Say, listen, I am so and so. This is my qualifications. This is my experiences. This is my short, long, medium-term plans of what I want to do as Prime Minister or President of this country. And so every different department or government department will then have to follow the same route. The Minister of Finance, the Minister of Health, Minister of Education, Minister of Safety and Security. So, sorry, this is a job application. It's the best man for the job. The person that is the best qualified to run the job. I apologize if the dogs are going wild. It's Monday again. So this is what we are looking, the best people, the best qualified people to run government. And very, very important, the government must have less power. The government has got one sole focus, and that is service delivery. Service delivery, very, very important. And if there's big and bold moves to be made by government, it must first be passed by the tribal senate. So these 2 elements, the tribal senate and the government, will work hand in hand. So now we've got equilibrium, we've got a balance to this. Where currently there is no balance, and the government has got no one to report to except to themselves. And welcome to the mess we're in now. They cannot prosecute themselves. I'm not going to go and ramp on what's going wrong and skew and down the tubes in this country. But if we want to save our country, this is the route we have to follow. It doesn't matter who that person is. It's not about race. It's not about gender. It's about qualifications. The best person for the job. Now the locals or the tribals can use this system as well. They are more than welcome to say, right, for example, Johannesburg needs a mayor. Right. Let's say, for example, that this tribal ground falls under the Tswanas. So if you want to be the mayor of Johannesburg, you must come and apply for the job. You must come and bring your qualifications and say this, exactly the same. That system can be used. So the best people for the job, irrespective of who or what they are, their background, their color, their gender, doesn't matter. You employ the best person for the job, and they must drive it. It's about service delivery. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people, especially employed in government currently, that are not doing their job. And the reason why they're not doing their job is they sit down in this little comfortable seat and they are protected by the political parties. This is why we don't have any prosecutions. Remember I said, and we will still come down that road as soon as we go over with investigations, that I can say without a doubt, look you in the eye, the government, the police, the justice system have all been captured. This is a dramatic turnaround, but there needs to be balances and checks in place. And this is the only way forward. Not only, but I believe the best way forward to do it and to accommodate this. And also to make sure that the tribals, that their heritage, that their culture is preserved. This is very, very important. We cannot go down this road ending up with a dictator, ending up in communism. Communism is not fun. South Africa, 80% of the people are Christians. If communism rules, our freedom of religion is gone. Your freedom of movement, your freedom of speech is gone. And if we don't wake up fast, we are heading that way. We are heading towards a total disaster. So, think about that. It is a simple solution. And in my next video, I'm going to start touching on various points. And the first thing I'm going to touch on is land reform. This is something that is under everyone's skins. All these political parties are throwing this around, land reform. Now I'm going to paint you a dismal picture in our next video when it comes to land reform, because it's not just about land, but we are in deep trouble as citizens of South Africa. For all our patrons, thank you very much, and our subscribers. And please, for you, if this is your first time watching this series, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, go back to episode 1 and follow the series so you understand the building blocks, to understand where we are today and how this machine or this business plan is formulated. It is not that complex, actually it's very simple, but we need to learn, and this is our golden thread here, is we need to start fighting for each other and stop fighting each other. We need each other. Whites, Indians, Coloreds, Africans, we all need each other. This is our sandpit, the borders of South Africa. But with the various tribals, we can have borderless borders. Nothing will change. It is just responsibilities are shifted. Very, very important. So please, once again, please remember to like this program, or this YouTube. Please remember to share it. Subscribe, and remember your icon your bell icon for notifications to let you know that another program is launched. I'll try my best for every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday possible. Thank you very much and have a blessed week. Cheers.